I am Joel with Klein Media, and we are talking about microphones today. So typically when you hire a production company, you hire a videographer, you think that the main thing that's important to them is video, which is true. Video is very important, but I would argue that audio is just as important, if not more important, than the video. If you have good audio, it can help immerse the viewer into watching your video, but if you don't know how to capture good audio, it's going to take your audience out of the video that they're watching. Even though the camera that I'm using, it looks really nice on here, people will be a lot more forgiving if I used a webcam to make this video and I had really good audio. But if it were reverse and I was just using like the camera mic off this camera, people would find it very hard to watch. And that leads into my next point. The biggest tip to get good audio is to have the microphone as close to your subject as you can. One of the ways that we do this is with this shotgun mic here. This is the Rode NTG2, or you can use what's called a lavalier microphone or a lapel mic. And this can be clipped onto clothing, underneath clothing, on collars. I typically like to use the lavalier mic, even though I'm not using it right now, because you just put it on them and you don't have to think about it. And I like this brand. This is a lavalier set by Sennheiser. It's one button and you just clip it on, they put it in their pocket, and you're good. One thing I don't like about it though is that you have to charge them. You can't like swap out batteries. So if I'm on a shoot where like it's going to be a really long day, I like to have like a couple of these just in case one is getting low on battery. So normally on shoots, I'll use both of these. I'll use a lav mic and a shotgun mic. And the reason I do that is just redundancy. Like if this one craps out, if it gets like some kind of interference, or they like bump the mic when they were like touching it, I have this as a backup. I know a lot of audio people will be like, oh, this like the shotgun mic should sound better, but I don't know. I don't really hear a difference, but I'm not an audio guy. I know enough audio to get by to know what will sound good in post. This microphone and this microphone, they cost about $300 each, and obviously you don't have to get that. If you just use like smartphone of any kind, you can get some mics that you can just plug into your phone, like some just lapel mics, and I'll link to that down below. But just having just a little lav mic just for your smartphone setup will just add a lot to the production value of your videos. All right, so I'm gonna have Chelsea, my wife, come here. So there is some etiquette to when you mic someone up. It's really important when you're working with someone that's never been on camera before that you just kind of like walk through and explain what you're going to do. Because I've made that rookie mistake before where I just like start like, hey, here's a mic. And I just like get up all in their personal space and they're really freaked out. So don't do that. So what I normally do is like, so I'll just, she's not wearing like any kind of like scarf or jacket or anything. So I'm just going to like pin this to like the collar of her shirt. So what I'll just do is say, I'll just explain. All right, so I want this end run down your shirt, and then I'm gonna clip this end to the collar of your shirt. I just sort of explain what I'm gonna do, and then I'll just like let her do that part. All right, and then I'm just gonna clip this to your collar, and then screw this in, and you can just throw this in your pocket. All right, and that's how you mic someone up. Sometimes for certain projects, you don't want the lav mic to be seen. When we did the teen dating violence PSA, I wanted like this setup, like, we have a shotgun mic and a lav mic on every actor, but I didn't want people to be able to see the lav mic, so it was really important to me that we were able to hide the lav mic underneath the clothing. One of the challenges with that though is like if you have the lav mic underneath the clothing, what can happen is like you hear a lot of like the clothing ruffle. So what we would do is like we would get moleskin padding and just like cut up little squares and like kind of sandwich the microphone in between the moleskin, and then have the actor like stick that on their chest, like on their skin. So when it comes to something like that where you need to like get underneath clothing and stuff, it's really important to let the actor do that themselves and just again communicate and explain like what you want them to do, just so you don't get all handsy and make them feel uncomfortable. Oftentimes what we'll do also is that we'll record our video and our audio separately, and there's a lot of advantages to that, but if you're just starting out and you're not sure how to do that, it's okay to just like plug a microphone in straight into your camera. One of the advantages is that, you know, we use microphones that have an XLR, which is like this bigger cable, and basically you just get a better quality signal from the microphone into the recorder. And a lot of the more consumer mirrorless DSLR cameras, they don't have a ton of features that are dedicated for audio, so that's why we use a separate recorder. We're able to, you know, there's a lot more features that like an audio recorder has that cameras don't have. With the editing software that I use, it's actually really easy to sync up the audio from the camera and the audio from the recorder in post. But once in a while, I'll just give a good visual clap, and that'll, on the waveform, you'll see like, oh, that's where that clap is. So yeah, I don't really have a good way to wrap this up. I just wanted to let you guys know, just give you some tips on what I do as far as audio goes. But if you have any questions about what microphone to get or how you can use a microphone in your camera, yeah, please post a comment and let me know. And I should come up with something really clever. So here's some sound advice. I'm Joel from Klein Media, and here is your sound advice.